Yes, here we are for our spring equinox ritual. For those of you that came in, we are going to do I'll just tell you how it's gonna run today. So I'm going to do a land acknowledgement and just a little introduction of who I am for those of you that are new. Um, so if you know the land that you are on, the indigenous peoples of that land, we're going to bring in that awareness. If you want to share that in the chat, then I'll share briefly about the energy of the spring equinox, what we're experiencing in this time of the year. Then we're going to do a tarot spread. So if you have a tarot or oracle deck that you want to use for that, you can get your own. But no worries if you don't have it. I will be pulling a card for the collective for anybody that doesn't have your own cards so that you can still participate in that. Then to sort of jump off from the tarot spread, we're going to go into a movement meditation. So we're going to use the information that we get from the tarot spread and do that into an embodied experience with a movement meditation. Yeah, and then I'll end it just by sharing some other rituals you can do through the rest of this weekend or into next week to really honor this spring season. So that is the lay of the land today. And I'm going to read you my land acknowledgement and who I am, and continue to share in the chat, and I'll read those out as we go. So, my name is Meghan Noreen Peterman. I use the pronouns they, them, and she, her. I am the child of Rana Glasser Peterman Kavadik and Kevin Todd Peterman. My ancestors are from Celtic and Germanic lineages, from what is known today as Scotland, Ireland, England, and Germany. Today I live as a visitor upon the lands of the Bengali people in Kolkata, India, and I offer deep reverence and gratitude to these people as well as the Adivasi tribes who were settled here before as the original stewards of the land and their descendants who continue to steward the land today. So I ask for their permission to be a guest on this land and to be in right relationship with the land. As far as who I am a cyclical living guide, spiritual mentor, and a tarot reader. And my biggest passion in life is to help support people align to the cycles of the body through the menstrual cycle, the cycles of the lunar cycle, and the earthly seasonal cycle. So that is why we are here to honor this time of the changing cycles of the year in the spring equinox today. So, what is the spring? What is the spring equinox, right? I'm sure that most of us know that the spring equinox is the halfway point between the winter solstice and the summer solstice. So this is where the equal balance of night and day we're experiencing. Tomorrow is actually the solstice on the 20th. At least here in India it is, where there will be 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. And so we're here in this balancing point. And if you follow along with the pagan wheel of the year, this is also the middle point between the, so there are 8 points along the year, and we just had Imbolc around the beginning of February, and we will celebrate Beltane at the beginning of May. And so we're also in between both Imbolc, Beltane, and the winter solstice and the summer solstice. So this is a lot of balancing and harmony energy coming in to this time. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of some of the other, know of some of the other festivals and celebrations around this time. If you are in the Christian tradition, Easter, even though Easter is a lot later this year, it can be as early as the spring equinox, and sort of like the where a lot of those traditions are rooted in the spring equinox pagan traditions. And that energy of rebirth, right? Because that is celebrating Jesus being reborn, coming back to life after the 3 days. So we have that Easter new life energy, and in the Germanic pagan world, there is a goddess, Astra, which is actually where they think the name Easter came from. And there's not a lot of research about this, and there has been like a lot of different changes within the last couple of decades about celebrating what's called Ostara here on the spring equinox. So I personally don't call the spring equinox Ostara, but if that connects with you, you can connect with that energy as well. But that brings in these symbols of, rabbits and bunnies, which I love the fact that rabbits actually have two uteri, and so they can actually get pregnant while they are already pregnant, and that's why we have this image of rabbits and bunnies. Of the rabbits having lots and lots of bunnies, because they are like doubly fertile with both of their uteri. So that's usually why that gets said. And so then we have these images of eggs, right, and fertility. All of these symbols and signs come with the spring, right? If you are a druid, which is part of the community I am in, the spring equinox is called Elben Elir, and which it means the light of the earth. So it's like we have welcomed back the light into our world again. So we also hold this energy of a transition, right? So we have a point at the winter solstice that is the darkest point, that is the most inward energy. And then we have the point of the summer solstice, which is the most light and the most outward expression. And so here, from the winter solstice to the summer solstice, we're experiencing this transition, moving from in to out. And we are at that balancing point, right in the middle, here at the equinox. So just noticing where that is within you today, moving from in to out. And putting it into the creative cycle as well, where the winter solstice would be the time to dream, to have visions, to sort of like plant those seeds. Imbolc, the time that's around the beginning of February, is where you are like rooting the seeds and making plans, right? You're making plans for the upcoming season, how you want to see those seeds come to life. And so now at the spring equinox is the time where we're finally like beginning to those stems, those seedlings are beginning to break free and come out into the world, right? We're moving from that inward to the outer energy. So again, those energies of rebirth, renewal, new life, new beginnings, all of that. If you're connecting this with the menstrual cycle, for those of you that practice cycle awareness, this spring equinox is the time of, the middle of the inner spring. And so if, you have about a 28-day cycle where you ovulate around day 14, 15, then this would be days like 8, 9, and 10. That's sort of the energy that we're in. If you have a longer cycle, then it might be later in the cycle around, 11, 12, 13, something like that. But it is that inner spring energy of the menstrual cycle. Let's begin with our tarot spread, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in our spread. So we will need some time to do that. You're also going to need either your journal, or if you want to do it on a piece of paper. I'm going to do mine on a piece of paper. We're going to draw a flower. I'm going to walk you step through step. We're going to draw a flower and pull our tarot cards along with each step of the flower that we draw. So again, you can do that in your journal, or you can do it on a piece of paper. And if you want to do it with markers, like bright colors, I invite you to do that as well. The first thing we're going to draw is a seed. So you can see I just drew a little seed. You don't draw it too close to the bottom, because we're going to grow roots. So on my paper, I've got it about a quarter or a third of the way up on the paper. So just drawing, you can draw it as big or little as you want to. And along with your seed, we're going to write down your intention. What is your intention? What do you want to birth in this season? So thinking about where you want to be in your life come the summer solstice. What do you want to be at full blossom in the summer solstice, or the summer season that is upcoming? So take a moment and just reflect quietly. If you want to take a couple of deep breaths and connect in to your body, and just tune in to what is that. We're just going to work with one intention today. So just choosing that intention, the one that comes through the most dominantly for you today. So, and then you can just write it below your seed that you draw. Just take a moment to do that. Just want to have a seed, and then your intention below your seed. And if you have your tarot deck, and we're going to build on that with our tarot spread. So our first card is going to be the roots. So the roots that we are going to grow, the question is, what will ground my intention? What will ground my intention? So if you have your deck, go ahead and pull. I will pull for the collective. What will ground our intentions? Okay. So for the collective, we've got the moon card. The moon. So if you're going along with the collective reading, go ahead and just look at the card and see if any initial messages come through for you, how it feels in your body. If you're using your own deck, go ahead and you can draw your roots on the seed, and then really just like writing along beside the roots, what messages come through for you of how to ground your intention. So the moon card, what I'm getting here for our collective is what will ground your intention is staying connected to your vision, staying connected to the dream that you had for that intention. Sort of that like that why question. Why are you doing this? Why are you wanting to birth this into the world? Thinking about that when you received that vision, that dream, and maybe putting it somewhere where it's visible, right? That you can see it, that you can stay connected to that. Have a reminder, maybe have an affirmation, a daily affirmation that is connected to your dream. Just like, here's my vision board up on my wall. And having that sort of vision there that I see every day, that I say the affirmations every morning. That's the energy of how to ground your intention. When you are staying connected to that vision, you're continually seeing how that is unfolding and unfurling throughout this season. So I'm going to draw the roots, and then I'm going to write the message that came through for the moon on or beside my roots. All right, so take a moment to do that. All right, so I'll just show you mine. So I have my seed and my intention here. And then I drew my roots, and in my roots, I wrote the messages that came through from the moon card. I'll tell you what mine is as well, so that you because I'm writing along with the collective cards, so maybe that will help you as well. So my intention for this season is to finally birth my meditation course, which is my Insight Timer course that I was approved approved to upload here since November, and I just I've not gotten it to the birthing season yet, so it's going to be this season. So that's my intention that I set. The connection to the moon card that I wrote down was stay connected to your vision, be with the why, and you had this dream for a reason. So those are the roots. That's how I'm going to ground into keeping that intention alive. And then I'm going to hang this up on my wall so I see it. Okay, so for our stem, what support do I need to see my intention blossom? What support do I need to see my intention blossom? All right, let's see what comes through for the collective. What support do we need to see our intentions blossom? What support do we need to see our intentions blossom? What support do we need to see intentions blossom? Okay, so we've got the King of Swords. Let's see if I can get that to focus for you. There we go. The King of Swords. All right, so it's talking about our support, right? What do we need? What support do we need to see our intentions blossom? So what I'm getting here is sort of this clear, like a clear process. A clear process where you are understanding really like every step that you need to take to reach that blossom that you want to see out in the world, right? So the swords is talking about our mind, and our throat connected to that air energy, and so it's really like how can you cut through all of the distractions, everything that is scattering you, and have this clear pathway forward that you are seeing, seeing from that perspective of how you're actually going to get there. You're seeing every step on the journey that it's going to take for you to get there, and you just then begin, right? Because we're at the King of Swords, right? The King of Swords is the one that has gotten all of the wisdom through all of the energies of the swords and arrived here with that ability to just really cut through it all and set the mind to that goal, to that intention that you want to see blossom. So that's our what support do I need to see my intention blossom? Feel free to draw leaves as well. I don't have a card specifically for the leaves, but leaves can be part of that support system as well. here we go. Here's mine. Got our support system with the King of Swords, and the ones I wrote is set your mind to the clear path ahead. See every step along the way and cut through all the distractions. All right, then we're going to go to the bud or flower, whatever you want to put, either a bud or a flower. And the bud or the flower is our potential outcome. Let's keep moving forward because we still got some time. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Excellent. Okay, so what is our potential outcome if we plant our intention, stay grounded with our roots, have the support of our stem? What is the potential outcome when we move into the summer season? Oh, we've got some flying cards around. So what is our potential outcome? And if you want to explore beyond this session, feel free to make multiple blossoms and multiple buds on your flower to see what all of the potential outcomes, because this is just one we're working with today. So one potential outcome. Oh, okay. Our potential outcome is judgment. Okay. So for the collective, those of you that are following along with me, we've got judgment. We've got our potential outcome is liberation, is freedom. Freedom from all of the chains that may have been, binding you, the stories and the labels and the mindsets that have kept you feeling small, feeling insignificant, moving through past experiences towards a place of deep forgiveness and places of self actualizing, and really to that place of I am no longer bound by the rules of this world. I am coming into that space of one in union with everything. So it's just this freedom that you don't have to worry about what other people are trying to put on you. You can just be free to be yourself. Oh, okay. Oh, how am I going to write that on my paper? So draw your blossom, write out what came through for you. Oh, what color do I want my blossom to be? You want to make sure that we got 2 more cards left, so you want to make sure you leave enough room on the upper part to write out the next 2 cards as well. I'll just show you. Here's my little blossom. And I wrote here freedom or potential outcome. Freedom, liberation, no longer tied to expectations, cutting through the labels, stories, and boxes to be completely myself. Oh, I am liking this reading. Yes, I have for those of you that are interested in a Zoom circle, I have a group called the Sacred Cycles Coven, and we are doing our spring equinox ritual tomorrow. It'll be quite different than this. We're gonna draw some runes and put them on eggs and plant them in the earth. So it's gonna be really fun as well. And you can join that for you get a free week to sort of like check out the coven and see if you want to stay around. No hard feelings if you join and you decide it's not for you, but if you want to come and join us in Circle on Zoom, we're doing that tomorrow at the same time that this one started today. So you can check that out in my link here on Insight Timer or my website, meghannoreen.com. The name of the community is called the Sacred Cycles Coven. I can type that in. Sacred Cycles Coven. We follow along with the earthly seasons and then the menstrual and lunar cycle energies. There are some people there that have menstrual cycles that connect to the menstrual cycle, and there are people who are in menopause that connect to the lunar cycle. So we've got really like everybody around. Yes, that was the bud flower. Okay. Our next one is the wind. The wind. What may try to uproot my intention? What may try to uproot my intention? So we're looking at here possible challenges, vulnerabilities, things to be aware of as we're moving forward. Okay. Let's see here. Let me try to uproot my intention. Let me try to uproot our intentions. This is our collective card, right? Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me try to uproot our intention. Let me try to uproot our intentions. Ooh, okay. We've got a battle here between the King of Swords and the King of Wands. Oh, very interesting, because remember the King of Swords was our support. So it's like the King of Swords supporting us on one side and the King of Wands trying to like take us down on the other. Yeah. So this is more what I love about this deck. There is a way to read the card in the light. There's a light version and then there's a shadow version. So I'm just going to I'm just going to glance at what the shadow is for this, because I don't usually read reverse. So I just want to, and then I'll just see what's coming through. So, so the shadow side of the King of Wands, we've got the being overly ambitious. So wow, okay, I'm feeling that one. I'm feeling called out on that one. Being overly ambitious, explosive emotions, and impatience. Not being compassionate enough to those that seek to help you, build your vision, and a misguided vision. Okay, so I'm going to feel into this. The shadow side of the King of Wands. So we have this intention that we're setting, right? This vision we want to see come to blossom by the summer solstice. And first, stopping and pausing before we begin any actions to see, like, is this in alignment, right? Is this in alignment with who I am, with where I want to see my life, and making sure that that is set at the very beginning before we even like begin the steps from here to there, right? So we've got that. We've got that also, like, are you setting your intention beyond what your body can handle, beyond what your energy can handle? Like thinking about like, might it be too ambitious that it will take you actually a lot more time than just throughout this next season? And then, if that's true, can you break it down into smaller, sub intentions that you could focus on? So really, like, thinking, is this within my means to actually see this come to life? Because we don't want to start things, put all our energy towards it, and then either end up in burnout or either end up not being able to finish, right? And probably those two things come close together. Yeah. So wanting to make sure that we're really going slowly and gently at the pace of our body, so that the shadow side of the King of Wands doesn't come and up, uproot us, that we won't be able to finish it, or we land ourselves in burnout. So let's draw some. I'm going to write that out on some wind. Okay, so we've got some wind blowing here, trying to uproot. I just wrote, don't reach beyond your capacity, and don't push yourself to go too fast or too much. Those are my little warning signs. You can connect with either the rain or the sun. The rain or the sun is, how can I nurture and care for myself this season? So as you are working to set your intention and watch it flourish and be birthed out from you. How can you be nurturing and caring for yourself so that it continues to grow, right? Rain and sun, how can I nurture and care for myself throughout this season? How can we, our collective, how can we nurture and care for ourselves this season? Oh, wow, this pull, like this spread is just everyone is coming deeply aligned. So we've got the Hermit. Hmm. We've got the Hermit for our collective rain and sun. How can I nurture and care for myself this season? And I think this is going to be really important, right? Because we're in spring, we're moving towards the summer. Throughout this season, there is going to be a tendency to give and give and give and keep spending our energy outside of ourselves, right? That we need to balance that and remember to come back in and realize that by nurturing and caring for ourselves, that's like the fuel of the energy that we're going to get to keep moving forward, right? We don't want to burn out that inner light. When we burn out that inner light, there's no way our intention is going to blossom. So whatever practices you have, whatever rituals you have, whatever daily routines you have that really are for you, for yourself, not for anybody else, not giving of your energy to anything else, just really for filling you up, nurturing you, tending to your own heart, your own soul, um, giving your mind a break, giving your body a rest, whatever that looks like for you, making sure that you continually come back to that throughout this season. And don't let it get to a point where, you have to take, where you're building, and you're at that brink of burnout. And then you're like, oh, maybe I should rest. Don't let yourself get to that point. Really build in that rest consistently throughout the season so that you never get to that built up place, that built up um, depletion. I guess it would be a building down, the depleting your resources, right? Keep yourself resourced consistently throughout the season. All right, I'm just gonna write that in for me. Ooh, and the sun and rain, what does that equal together? The rainbow. All right, here is my, whew, I got the hermit here, and I wrote it in rainbow colors coming out of the sun. I wrote, stay with your practices, resource yourself continually, and rest. All right. I wish there was a way we could share pictures. If you there I have a free community on Mighty Networks if you want to join. I will share the link in our circle here, but I would love to see your images if you would like to share them as well. And all of my papers are falling on the ground. But yeah, I wish there was a way we could like share images and things together. So, Arcadia Ara got the Fool. Okay. Oh, I like that. Like not being too serious. The Eight of Pentacles. Okay, beautiful. Feel into this one to interpret the Nine of Horns, Cups, named Fulfillment. Lots of horns in my reading. I got an inkling for that one, Jen. If you want me to share, I can share. Seven of Pentacles. The cards couldn't have been more perfect for my intention. I agree. I don't think they could have been more perfect for mine either. So you are all now keeping me accountable to finish my meditation course because I put it out there. I put it out there for you all. So I would love to turn this into a movement meditation if we've got time. Probably about 10 minutes to do the movement meditation. Who is up for that? We're going to embody our flower here. So, okay, so I'm going to move my chair. I'm gonna stand up. So you're welcome to, I'm gonna move my camera. Let me move this up. So hopefully you can see me. I don't have a setup where you can like see my whole body, but hopefully you'll be in your own body and you won't be worrying about what I'm doing over here. Let's start with standing and in a place where your feet, if you can connect to your feet. So if you're wearing any sort of like shoes or socks, and you can take them off, I invite you to do that. So you can sort of like splay your toes out, really get that feeling of your feet solid on the ground. And if it's comfortable for you, you can go ahead and close your eyes for the practice so that you are feeling the movement from within, or just having a soft gaze or keeping them open, whatever is best for you. And first connecting to your breath, just allowing your awareness to come into your body. And maybe with each exhale, bending your knees slightly to feel the gravity and feel the earth coming up to meet you and support you. And then we're going to connect to that intention that you set. And allow yourself to feel that intention within your body first. See if there is any any part of your body that is feeling like the home of your intention. See if there is a sensation that arises in a specific part of your body. And maybe you want to place a hand there as well, just to bring more awareness. And go ahead and say your intention, either out loud or within. And then allowing that intention to move down your body as you imagine it being planted into the earth below you. And then making sure your feet, I'm going to firmly plant those feet. So maybe you want to just lift your feet up one by one until you find that place to let them both settle in. And now connecting to the message you received for your roots. How will you ground your intention? And as you are embodying these messages of grounding, allow that image to come from your base, from your feet down into the earth below, from your intention out in all directions below you, like a web, a weaving that is underneath to support you and this intention. And if you want to, saying those messages from your roots out loud or within. So feeling that strong, stable foundation below you. And as we move into the stem, you're welcome to get down low to the ground. Get down low to the ground, feeling that strong, stable foundation that your roots have woven underneath you. And then as you say your messages from the stem, what will support your intention? Allow yourself to gently rise up to standing. And when you come to this standing position, feel your spine lengthen. from tail to the crown of your head. That sense of confidence, strength, knowing that the universe is here to support you in this position, that the earth is here to support you in this position, that your intention and the roots you have grown are here to support the strength and the height of your stem. And from that support of the stem comes our blossom. So connecting to your messages of your potential outcome. How is this intention going to blossom into the world? And go ahead and say your messages out loud or within as you allow your arms, your head and upper body to move the energy of spring, the energy of your body that is expanding into a blossom. And then we bring in the wind. What may come that will try to uproot your intentions? So for the wind, maybe focusing on your boundaries, focusing on that strong, strong core. So being aware of the wind. Right? You want to move and sway. Feeling your boundary. Going ahead and moving in a way that pushes to your boundary that you can still keep your feet strong and stable below you. And then bringing in those messages that you received for the wind. And allow yourself to feel what that might feel like, to be potentially uprooted, so that you know that's not really how you want to feel. It feels chaotic. It's too much, too much. And then finding that boundary where you can say no. No, you are not going to uproot my intention. And coming back where you are that strong, stable, but still, you still have that movement of your blossom. As your blossom is now turning towards the sun and receiving the nourishment of the rain, it's going to continue to nourish those roots, the stem, and the flower. How can you care and nurture yourself in this season? Go ahead and read out your sun and rain messages. And then taking a moment just to come back into stillness, back into your inner landscape, into your body, and just checking in to how you are feeling right now. What sensations does your body have? Are there any emotions that are arising? And then taking a moment to connect in with that vision and dream again. That what you want to see come to full blossom by the summer. Just sit with that vision for a moment. As we come back around full circle again, knowing that that vision is planted deep within you. And we're going to take a deep inhale together to seal in this experience, honor the process. And as you exhale, gently become aware of your surroundings in your space. Gently breathing, your eyes open. And you're welcome to come back and sit with me. Okay. Turn this back on. All right, there we go. Like worked up a little bit of a sweat. I also know it's quite humid and hot here though as well. I would love to hear how that was for you. Oh, Vicky, I'm so glad you were here and you enjoyed that. Ah, well, thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Cece. Oh, Rebecca, thank you. Oh, more messages came in during the meditation. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, feel free to add those to your paper, to your journal. Okay, as we close out our time together, I'm just going to share a few other rituals you could do on your own time, maybe with your family, throughout the rest of this weekend into, next week, as we, welcome in more of those spring energies. Oh, I'm so glad you were here, Arcadia Aura. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Mm. So, some other rituals that you can do. Um, so spring, often we talk about spring cleaning. That can be something that we are, clearing the space for that new life to come in, right? When we are getting rid of clutter and spring cleaning, inviting in new energies, new life. Jen doing that today, beautiful. Oli, thank you so much for that donation as well. Um, so another thing you can do that is quite difficult for me, but some of you might enjoy this, is the time of the day, the 24-hour cycle, it connects to the dawn and those early morning hours with the spring equinox. And so, waking up with the dawn, greeting the sun, welcoming in that light into your life, if that is something that you could do. If the weather permits, where you are planting seeds or planting your garden, you can even, if it's too cold outside, planting some seeds inside to get that started so that you can transplant them outside later, and connecting in that way. And just being out in nature, right? So doing like, for those of you that, are someplace that it snows most of the winter, and when you finally see that ground again, getting your feet on the earth is a beautiful practice. Doing some earthing, doing some forest bathing, if that's available for you, hiking, foraging for the beginning wild plants that come up at the beginning of spring. Just yeah, spending some time in nature. And if you can't actually go out to nature, listening to music, nature music, listening to meditations connected to nature, that sort of thing as well. Um, there's also been this tradition, at least in Celtic places, of connecting to wells, like sacred wells or springs, at during the springtime, and even tying what's called a cluti, which is like a little wish or a blessing that you tie on the trees near sacred wells and springs. But it would be beautiful to have to visit a body of water and either like saying a prayer or a blessing over the water, giving thanks for the water of life, right? That just continually gives us life, or also doing like a spiritual cleansing bath in a body of water, if that's available for you. If you're wanting to get pregnant anytime soon, doing some sort of fertility ritual this would be a really beautiful time to connect in to that desire if you have it. And even if you don't, our ritual that we did today was, we were doing that ritual to birth something out into the world. And you can also do that for birthing literally a human out into the world as well. But there's many other fertility, rituals that you could look up if that's something that you're interested in. And the last thing I'll leave you with is if you want to listen to a meditation, my spring equinox meditation just went live on Thursday, and so I would love it if you had a listen and gave it a rating and left a review if you enjoy it. I'd love to hear how it lands for you, so it can reach more people. I'd love to also hear if you have any plans to honor the spring equinox where you are. You can think of any other rituals that we could do. And if you enjoyed this time together and you felt supported in connecting to that spring energy within and around. I greatly appreciate donations as well. They really support this work, that we are breaking down these you know, these things that we were connected to judgment that I wrote down on my list, cutting through those label stories and boxes that try to keep us very linear, right? And connecting to these cyclical ways of being. So either donating here on Insight Timer to support that vision of creating more cyclically aware practices and states of being, or like I said before, if you're interested in joining a more intimate, smaller community together that's practicing cycle awareness, moving along with the menstrual cycle, the lunar cycle, and the seasonal cycle, the Sacred Cycles Coven is the community that I hold space for, and our spring equinox ritual is tomorrow, that we will have on Zoom. And you can join for a free week. You get 7 days free to sort of you can come to a circle, you can check out the online platform and see if that's something that you would be interested in joining. So you can, if you do that before tomorrow, you can come to our session. We'd love to have you. What's coming up? Coming up also on Monday, we have we'll do our cycle check-in, meditation, and journal practice. So if you want some more cyclical living resources and practices, you can come and join us on Monday. It is I guess it's at the same time for all of you. I moved it up an hour earlier for me, but it will be the same time that it's usually been for those that have been before. But I'd love to see you on Monday as well. I saw it on Pinterest. You can tie eggs on the trees and paint them spring colors on a tree branch. Oh, okay. I'm gonna look that up on Pinterest. Beautiful. I also saw on Pinterest that I put in our other community, this beautiful plant dyed eggs. You know, where people are dyeing eggs with red cabbage turns eggs blue, you know, beets turns them red, spinach turns them green. Like there's like these really beautiful plant dyed eggs that if you want to look that up, you can look that up because it looks really fun to do. Rebecca, the Coven, all of the information, there's a link here on Insight Timer that you can find, and on my website. My website's just my name, meghannoreen.com, and you'll see a link there to the Coven if you want to check that out, more information there. Yeah, it's been lovely. I feel so grateful and so honored that you were all here to spend your spring equinox with me. And okay, lovelies, I will see you again soon. Have a beautiful morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are. Sending you many, many spring blessings, new life, new beginnings. Let's plant our intentions and put them out into the world because we need you. We need your intentions into the world to, so that we can all blossom as our unique selves. Thank you, Arcadia, Ara. Thank you, Bree. Much love to you all.